Yo, welcome to the show, everybody. What's up, Bernie? How you doing?
All right, we are live. Welcome.
Hyper delay pedal right there on reality going on with the beatboxer. Hey, we have a beatboxer in the house. What's your name?
We have Ominous, the beatboxer, back with us.
Hi.
Wait. Do that. Let's have a beat for a second.
You want? Hang on, like Pac-Man.
Real science in the house. To now. Wait. Where's the beat?
You want me to give you a beat?
We can do it. We'll do it in a minute. That's fine.
We'll do it soon. You just let me know. You got to give me the right cue, though.
I'm ready. I'm ready whenever. Mike Faraday Research is 3D printing up in the house in the top. Let me just try to move my Hollywood squares over here. Look at this. What's going on? Are you printing something to do with anti-gravity and free energy research? Does that have to do with your coil? Tell us more.
Yeah, I'm doing the print for the Adams motor. I'm building the housing to actually hold the wheel assembly. And yeah, it's because the wheel's spinning at such a fast RPM now, I can't really mess around anymore. I got it up to over 4,000 RPM last week. So I go, okay, this could be an issue. So I'm building a proper case for the wheel assembly. So this print I'm working on now failed. So I'm starting over again. The offset, the freaking offset went bye on me, and then everything went off. So I had to stop the print. Now I'm starting over. So yeah, in about 14 hours I'll be done.
I just finished printing my case here. Well, show that for a minute though. There you go. So you can see how big this is. This can be huge because you saw it before on the previous episode. You saw like the coil is running.
Now your case.
Well, you can show. Yeah, here I'm making this case right here because I've got this pocket operator and it needs to have something to go around it. So I figured I'll put this case on it and it'll fit inside there very nicely.
What are you using design software, or are you just using off Thingiverse, or what are you using?
So I'm in a Discord with a bunch of people about working on pocket operators, and somebody was working on a design, and so I did a remix of a file which you can find on my Thingiverse /Exertis, which in my Cyber Gulag is Paradise list of things to make. There's a few different options, including a flip case that we have.
Yeah, everything I do is all custom made. I do it in Fusion.
Oh, sweet.
And I do so I know that software really, really well. So I use that, and then I put it through Cura to slice it down into the code for the 3D printer, and put it on an SD card and pop it into the machine and let it rip. Nice.
Yeah, I should be using Fusion. I've worked with 123 Fusion, and they took it away. We used to have these apps on our phones.
Yeah.
They took it away. But I'll probably get back into it. I'm thinking now that I'm 3D printing all the time. I mean, Fusion's really useful. Really great stuff.
It's the best. It's honestly the best and easiest software to work. I find it easier than AutoCAD itself, even SolidWorks. I find Fusion's just the user interface is so much easier to work with.
Yep, they studied us for free and they locked us down. I don't know. That's why I want to use free software. But we should continue.
So both Mike and Zertis, you both have 3D printers. I've got some files to send you.
Yeah. We should be printing some stuff. Let's continue the introductions. I'm sorry I didn't get to introduce that Campbell just got back from a 2-week trip. Campbell, how you been?
Oh my God, am I still here?
I don't know that you're alive. I mean,
You're finally back?
Am I working?
What? Still on this plane with us, Campbell?
No, I see you. You're there. Can you? Oh, is this an existential question, or do you mean that more like it's just?
I'm having interweb issues.
That took me a while to figure out. Yeah, no, it's weird. Africa is closer than Australia. I learned recently trying to do some video online, so we're able to. I can do an interview with somebody in Africa with less latency than someone in Australia. I don't know why it's that way.
It's pretty bad today. Every time I try and speak, I get disconnected. So it's running at a few minutes, I think.
Well, we got you for now. So tell us a little bit about what you found in your little journey across Australia.
Yeah. Did you discover the hippie commune, like the anarchist Australian base? I heard that's up there.
Went to Nimbin. Nimbin, the hippie. It's just an old hippie.
Nimbin doesn't sound nearly as ominous, does it? Ominous.
Nimbin. Ominous. Yeah, no, it's not very ominous. It's just kind of grey and slow now, and they come and try and sell you weed on the street. That's pretty interesting. But yeah, no, it's a nice part of the country. Like, it's all tropical, lots of towns, different to WA, which is just desert. Went up to Rockhampton, saw lots of giant tree stumps, or what looked like them. Did a show.
Yeah. What do you think about how those giant tree stumps, man? What do you think? Like, when you saw them, does it just push you further to think that there's probably something to it, or what?
Yeah, well, yeah, especially the way that they were like just these kind of random, they're not part of mountain ranges or anything, just these random, what look like tree stumps, a lot of them, and just all the way up the coast, just sort of dotted randomly. It's really strange.
Don't worry, Emily, you did not miss the ominous beatboxing yet. You can't say that yet. It's been teased.
Right?
A minimal part of this thing.
I was gonna say.
Yeah. Kai Smooth also, I want to say Kai Smooth is here. What's up, Kai Smooth? I don't know if you can hear us. I see a mirror. Maybe he disappeared. Oh, wait, he's...
Oh, I'm here. I'm here, definitely.
He's all over.
Thanks for joining me. I'm all over the place, the motherfucking wizard, but really pleased to have me. I'll just hang in the background. Maybe I'll chip in the conversation, have a beer, have a smoke. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
Kai Smooth is our Twitch master, and so we are live today on both Twitch, Twitter, and 4 YouTube channels.
Pretty exciting. Charlie, did we introduce you yet? You're in Texas right now. You're working with the MakerBot. What's been going on with you this week?
I joined a new makerspace, the Dallas Makerspace, largest makerspace in the United States.
Really? You got it? That's awesome. So tell us about I've heard legends. Tell us more about the Dallas Makerspace. It's huge.
Yeah, definitely huge. I've been using their electronic workbenches, building new Tesla coils. And
wow, what kind of stuff do they have? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, they had a fusion reactor they were building as a group project. So that was interesting. Yeah,
they're building a fusion reactor.
Yeah,
like a tokamak style, or what?
No, it's a smaller one. I showed a little bit to APEC. I don't understand it fully, but I have to talk to the group more about it.
Absolutely, get them here. Let's have an interview with them. They can show the progress of their project as much as they want to, of course.
Okay. Yeah, I'll invite them. Thanks.
And I think there's another Adam. Space Case Zero. What's up, Adam? How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing fine. Not a whole lot's going on over here.
Right? Adam actually...
That makes me really suspicious. It sounds to me like... Is there an agent standing on you with a boot on your neck? Like, that's the kind of thing I'd expect to hear if there was something not fine. But okay.
If you're in peril.
There's nobody else.
Do they have your documents? Oh, wait, you're working on what?
Oh, I'm working on a spectrometer, a computerized one, so that I can try the bagel coil with the noble gases and see if I actually get any other elements created in my sealed glass vials. So that's the next thing I'm working on.
Rad. Really? So how are you going to use the spectrometer to tell you that these elements have shifted or that there are new elements that are appearing?
Well, mass spectrometer.
I'm looking for the bright line spectrum. Right, so I'm just lighting them up with a Tesla coil and then looking at what color the light comes off, and it's pretty straightforward to identify the elements.
Epic. So just kind of like a par density thing, and then there's is there any sort of frequency resonance or anything you're looking for, or why is it that why is it that they are so unique to each other and distinct? What's giving them their distinct? What are giving them their distinct reactions? Is it their size? Is it their density?
Thank you, CJDV. Welcome back, Cam, he says. So, Zerdis, you're asking about the different elements, or what exactly with the transmutations that Adam's trying to measure?
Right, yeah. So when you're trying to measure this, what are the changes that you're observing? Are they in the mass? Are they in
the elements themselves? That's the whole.
It'll be different elements in there. Yep, exactly. There'll be different elements, and they'll have different bright line spectrums. So I'll be able to look at the spectrum and see, is that the same gas I started with, or is now there's something else in there?
Literally because of the change in their atomic mass. Is that the idea?
Yeah, the atomic structure and mass.
But the part that you're picking up on
literal fusion is what it.
But you're not able to pick up on the shape of the structure, but you are able to pick up on the dense or the mass, the increasing of mass, because it would refract a different spectrum of light. Is that the idea?
Well, it's when you excite an atom, you put the electrons in a higher shell state, and then when those decay, they emit very specific frequencies depending on which element it is.
Okay, so
like
the frequencies.
helium. Right, so helium was discovered on the sun before they found it on Earth, and they did it with the bright line spectrum. They could tell it was up there, and we didn't have any on the planet.
Wow. Okay, so this is the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, so spectrometers are how, like, for instance, they see what stars are made of by seeing what light colors are coming through on it. Each atom, each element has a different color of light that comes off of them from burning.
And so how are you going about making your spectrometer? And is this a digital spectrometer, you said, but it's using a computer with sensors, or?
I found some neat company in Italy that gave away the software for free. So all you need is a diffraction grating. People are using CDs and things like that. Anything to Prism works, and then it goes into a camera, and the software figures it out. You calibrate it with a known element, and then you've got a digital spectrometer. It is incredibly cheap to do. You need like a webcam and an old CD.
What's the site? What's this Italian group that's doing this?
They've got a bunch of physicsy stuff. It's on my computer bookmarked, I swear. I'll drop it in the chat.
Yeah, cool.
Yes,
I'd love to share that.
Please do. That's something I have been needing and like desperately need to verify my own electrolysis alchemy experiments and transmutation. So if it's a free program that I can utilize the equipment I already have to actually get mass spectrophy, that's freaking amazing. And it'll be very interesting to see with the monoatomic matter. Apparently they don't turn out whatsoever the same as regular element atoms, according to David Hudson's work and research on it. So that'll take it to the next level, really, Adam. That's crazy. And please do share as soon as you have it working.
I just found Charlie's Thingiverse link as well.
Yeah, Charlie.
Maybe we should.
Do
you want to?
You want to share this?
Sure. Yeah, you can share it. It's free.
I wanted to hear your rap, Andres. I mean, you're keeping us hanging, man.
The rap? Oh yeah. When are we gonna get this?
I need the rap.
We could get Ominous. You want to start doing a beat anytime? You feel it. Feel inspired.
I'm always inspired. I just want to do it at the most appropriate time because these conversations are quite riveting.
Let the science take you away. Let the
scientists feel free to rhyme as well. If you have any.
Should I do a beat? Are you guys actually ready for one?
Oh yeah, sure. Absolutely.
Should I do it right here, or should I go in front where I was before?
Here are the glasses that Charlie's actually wearing right now.
Yeah, I still use them. They're 3D printed, and I just press fit in the lens. Oh, there we go, and then it holds it. And the hinges are this new design, press fit, in that older design that used filament as the hinge. So I have to update my Thingiverse with the latest design. But I'll print different colors. And, yeah, for ABS plastic.
Yeah, you can do it right here, Ominous. Oh, I'll move my face. There you go.
It's okay. Hang on.
What's this? You have found the science of sound. Real science is around the time that we clown, and everybody in the show that we know talks about the science that they have to go through today. What the Bernie? What you got to say? Ideas about the rhymes. Make the beat.
science for you. Resonation of sound.
Man, I think that was an
That's
amazing beat.
science.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
My freestyle definitely fell
You all
short.
right?
I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna enjoy this for a second.
Hey, you want to hear something before you go back into those wonderful conversations, of course, of fusion and time. I'm gonna try to do something really fast. Hang on. I'm gonna go. Oh, hi. Oh, yeah. Hang on. I'm gonna see if I can do this real fast.
Yeah. Anti-gravity.
Whoa there. All right. Sorry. That was just a test. Just to see a little bit of range there. But don't
That was
worry. More to
beautiful.
come. Brought to you by Duck Beer because there is no other. Good. I can feel your anger.
Is there a genre of
let's give
beatboxing?
it up.
Over here.
Man,
Is there steampunk beatboxing? I think we need to make it a thing.
put all my beat machines to shame. All my robots are just like they're pulling their batteries out of their chests right now. I'm telling you, that's it.
Nothing wrong with a good jam with all sorts of different instruments of all kind. The only thing I can do is just try to imitate them. Back to you now.
Beatboxing is how they built the pyramids. I agree.
Ah.
I think that
Some form of
Solomon
sound.
agreed.
That was one of the many ways that they could have used. I guess what would it be like? Certain decibels that would actually be able to move those huge rocks and stones and pivot them.
Right, yeah, the acoustic levitation and possibly with the different cymatic frequencies.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's where
You
we
do
get
with
the
ping
genre
pong balls. Now
heavy
imagine
rock,
doing it with
right?
1,000-ton items.
Yeah, Campbell, do you want to go into a bit of your theory and the research on that and like even the
Yeah,
star
that's-
forts and all of it?
I was just saying that's where we get heavy rock from, right? It's a genre of music. That's what they use to build the pyramids. Heavy rock.
Yeah, Heavy metal is supposed to be
rock.
radiated. It's supposed to be, yeah.
Heavy
Actually, I
metal,
think
yeah.
that it's the light rock that they would have been trying to the genre.
Light rock. I
Dude,
think.
Hall and Oates, Yacht Rock,
Ed
yeah.
Scallon was into that. I think. Yeah.
Hall
Am I
and Oates
talking
would fit the beer making the pyramids mythos.
Oates?
Yeah, hauling the oats, for the fermentation process. I think I can see
Uh-huh.
Yacht Rock, and then the floating of the stones down the Nile.
Yacht rock. Wasn't Kenny Loggins into yacht rock? That's all I know
Dude,
about yacht.
Kenny Loggins is great. It's Christmas time. Come on,
It's just,
it's Kenny Loggins time.
as long as you're not saying Mariah Carey, I'm in.
Kenny Loggins wanted to. They asked him once. They're like, if you could do any movie soundtrack you didn't get to do, what would it be? And he was like, "Ooh, The Matrix." And they're like, "Oh, what would your song be?" He's like, "Oh, it would be called It's Not What You Think It Is." I was like, "Come on, Kenny Loggins." It's great. Dresses like Jesus at the Grand Canyon. I mean, he has to know something. Did you see his Grand Canyon show? He dresses like Jesus in front of the Grand Canyon while doing a show over literally above where they found the ancient they say they found like Egyptian stuff, and there's like a secret corridor in the Grand Canyon full of all this archaeological evidence.
Yeah,
he did a show right there.
Cave.
Yeah. The King's Bernie, say it again. The King's
Kincaid Caves. The expedition was
the Kincaid Caves, right?
I generally refer to it as the Grand Canyon Pyramid Complex because every single peak, actually, I think I can bring it up. The topographical map of the Grand Canyon aligns each peak aligns to the Orion constellation there. You can see each star is directly on top of each of these peaks. And the peaks are named like Isis Temple, Tower of Set, Sumer Butte. There's also, I believe, the amphitheater, the Ottoman Amphitheater.
The Ottoman Amphitheater, yes.
Yeah, Ottoman Amphitheater, the Temple of Jupiter, the Temple It's ridiculous. Pretty much every single Eastern seafaring power over the last several thousand years has its own temple within the Grand Canyon complex.
And Kenny Loggins knows. I'm telling you, there's got to be a connection.
Is there a Mount Kenny Loggins in there? Kenny Loggins Peak, something like that? No, Footloose and Fancy Free Cliff.
It's just kind of built into the general mythos. You can just feel them whenever you're there. But there's a lot to be said about the Grand Canyon. The fact that it's this, where it's at is this barren wasteland now. But if we look back a few hundred years and we think of the pre-Mulholland times, there's a lot more water, and we can find evidence of beavers, and there were beaver lakes and dams and everything like that. So this was a place with lots of trees, because where there are beavers, there are trees. And the white pine, which is nearly extinct, used to be a huge forest across the United States. In Minnesota, for instance, we have this thing called the Hinckley Fire, which burned down 400 square miles of forest. And this is 200 years ago. So it's hard, or was it 100 years ago? When was the Hinckley Fire again? I forget. I'm going to look that up. Hinckley Fire.
Well, it hasn't grown back yet.
No, it's completely gone. So 1894 was the Great Hinckley Fire. And so the official story is a train came running through, and it just sort of caught fire to a bunch of leaves under the train. And somehow that just burned down and killed all of the settlers in 1894. And get this, uncounted numbers of Aboriginal natives. We're talking tribes, just full on gone, all gone. And every kind of wild bird that lived in this area that was, specific to this area, gone. And weather changes, extreme winters that weren't even as cold because they used to have so much more warmth because of geothermals and everything. And the trees holding of heat, everything changed, environmental shift. And the United States, we have... And then we're lucky because we're in the north, but you look in other places where the Dust Bowl happened, and there aren't as many stories as you might think from Algonquins and Cherokee about the Dust Bowls. The Dust Bowls are a relatively 200-year recent ecological feedback loop that we created. And the story goes, by Eurocentric manifest destinial believers that, well, the natives were just burning down a bunch of fields to scare the buffalo different directions, and eventually that caught up with them, and that's why there were these dust.
We get that in Australia too. We get the exact same story. They were burning down the forest to chase the animals.
It's weird how it worked for 1,000 years, 10,000 years until all of a sudden we got here. Luckily, we were here to be Captain Hindsight and say, hey, you know what? It's pretty bad.
So, what do you reckon? Do you reckon that's some kind of?
I like the fossil. I like the petrified. I like the petrified trees. You look at Arizona and you see the petrified trees. You go to Crystal Lake and Lake County in California, you see petrified trees. A lot of the petrified trees do seem kind of like they're the branches of much larger things. Like when you were saying you saw near Nimbin the giant mesa, the Silicon Tree Mesa. I get the feeling that this could be a lot more simple than we realize. It could be that this is the excrement of a giant mushroom that grows upwards and excretes mineral deposits as it grows upwards. And then we've seen examples of paleo mushrooms that could do that. And then they would also have things growing outwards, which they're identical to what trees are essentially, except they're made of different materials. They're made out of minerals like silicon and selenium.
What, you think that
right, like stellium 7's work.
Say it again, Campbell. Sorry.
Do you think that that's what would have killed off the vegetation and like the beavers? Who ran the beavers out of town? What changed the climate?
So beaver wars is something I got to really. So Beaver Wars is way more interesting. Like when you look up, there's a thing called the Beaver Wars, and it has to do with the beaver bays of Ontario. But if you go to Argentina, they have beavers now because they brought beavers down to South America. And it completely just devastated the environment because they change everything where water flows. And right now, if you go to New Mexico, they're trying to bring back beavers because it's a desert. And if you put a beaver where they are the cornerstone species to a positive environmental shift. You bring beavers in, they start to make bigger and bigger ponds. The water starts to expand. Feedback loops start to rain into the ponds that are evaporating. The clouds are in specific place. Like, they are playing God with nature. They're Mother Nature's helper. And so you
Mother
can
Nature's builder.
It's weird. It's weird. You know, I know that sounds, shout out to Canada, but no, for real, beavers are pretty impressive. And you can see places where in Idaho, for instance, they moved in beavers in 1971. And by 1999, they have full on lakes that are huge, that are developing. So beavers can, within one generation, completely change and fix a place. And by removing them, what ends up starting to happen is you have fires, hyper growth of things. I mean, all along the coast of California, you had into Peru, you had giant beavers and you had giant sloth, and the giant sloth,
all the megafauna.
Yeah,
right?
and
I'm
so
glad you brought this up. The megafauna that went extinct all around the end of the last ice age, the Younger Dryas event.
and there's a weird, by calling them sloths, like that's a weird thing because, you know, yeah, we found that if you took a sloth and you put it in a metal cage alone without its family, it would sleep for 13 to 18 hours a day in depression. That's a fact. If you take a lot of animals, they won't move in a cage. But if you take a sloth and you just study it in nature, crazy, totally different. It actually does all kinds of stuff all the time. It's awake all the time, but it's hyper
like saying someone in jail is different to someone who's not in jail. I mean,
yeah,
talking craziness.
And people just said, "Oh yeah, all sloths are lazy." No, sloths actually have crazy amounts of environmental importance to where they're at as well. And they used to be 26 feet tall. And you know, the what we are starting to find out about bats that lived on sloths and how they were able to deal with fruit fly populations and these little things that, when we're wondering, like, how did organic food exist, right? Like, why don't we need Monsanto to spray Coca-Cola and poison on everything? Well, no, nature actually had a system, but it was way more intricate than we realized, and it involved, you know, sloth, bear, beavers, all these sorts of things. And yeah, when we started to get rid of those things, then things almost instantaneously dried up. And we don't even know right now, but what I'd love to also do is start to study a bit more in the Bellum tartaricum. And in the Cotton Codex, there's a book about the animals that lived in the Sahara jungle and what animals thrive there. And so that would be very interesting to know what went extinct, because we're talking about all the kinds of water creatures that now are covered in sand, that's 400 years ago to 800 years ago that we're starting to go extinct. So it's crazy when we start to realize, you know, Mega Chad, it's not just fish, it's going to be crazy kinds of Argentinosaurus, things that look like the Mokele-mbembe emerge, right? We think the Mokele-mbembe is still alive. It's like the Loch Ness monster of the Congo. So there's a lot to be said. There are probably things that are extinct too, you know, probably most of them, and it'll be interesting when we start to find out.
Extinct giant humans, giant hominids, like
under the sand.
New species. Have you heard about these new species? But they're basically like interspecies, like crossovers, like between certain porpoises and whales and that. But
Wallfins.
A liger.
The wallfins are great.
Yeah,
where's my phone?
Four like announced in the last 6 months or something.
So I'm gonna pull this
in nature. Campbell. Is this nature or in like captivity?
No, this is in nature.
Wow. So I mean, you can
let me find it.
You can find crabs. First off, I did this thing in AI where I was like a painting of a hyper realistic piglet with orange tiger print skin. So that exists now. But yeah, no, the future's coming. What's wallfins are interesting because it's a dolphin and the orca whale. So it produces, I think a dolphin has 66 teeth and 88 on the orca or the gray whale that's mixed with. So this thing has 77 teeth or something like that. Like it's one off from normal. And there's all kinds of creatures like pandas, right? Owen Benjamin's put a lot of nightmares into people about the idea that pandas aren't real. But there's a lot of evidence that they were genetically modified, created, mixed together from other bears, you know, to be some sort of a designer pet for emperors 200 so years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, pandas probably like when they try to introduce pandas back into nature, and then they're like, see, they don't know how to live in nature. It's all our fault. It's actually that goes further than we realize. It's probable that they never were like pandas that like the kind of pandas we have today that even look like that, right?
So a panda was just a panda to someone's excesses.
Panda, gift, Jesuit. You know what they call a group of pandas? you know what a herd? Do you know what a herd of pandas is called? An embarrassment.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'm not kidding. That's the name of a group of them. An embarrassment of pandas in the zoo. We saw an embarrassment.
Yeah, a group of them is an embarrassment.
It's called an embarrassment. Yeah.
Those poor pandas.
Everything
about those are murder.
Yeah.
Murder. Red rum.
Murder of crows, isn't it? Panda Express is a secret menu with Panda Mate. Oh.
Ew, gee.
What's Panda Express?
It's like Taco Bell, but with Chinese food.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a North American fast food Asian restaurant chain.
Yeah.
Ouch. Poor pandas. But at least they're not very racist. Black, white, and Asian, right?
Oh, right.
They're doing pretty good.
Both.
See what I mean? It's too convenient. I don't know.
All right, Charlie, do you want to go a little bit into your Ghostbuster gun update, as I've dubbed it, or whoever dubbed it that? Maybe it was.
Oh, wait. Really briefly, because I totally have ADHD, and you all know it, but I wanted to show the website that Adam, did you share this, Theramino? This is the spectroscopy app. And this is really cool. I've never seen this before, Adam. I'm appreciative that you shared this with us.
It's down the page a little further. There's quite a few free software on that page.
Let's see, going down. Traveling theremin. I can definitely.
That thing you do like with your hands, right? The woo. Is that a theremin?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
My buddy Andy has a Moog theremin.
So registering audio thermals too on this. That's amazing. That's actually what the Hutchinsons were doing for getting the resonant frequencies of elements.
There you go. Gamma spectrom. Is this what you wanted? Spectrometry? The gamma spectrometry page?
Yeah. No, I don't think that's the same one. It's a different one.
I'll type it in here and see if that helps.
But it's not easy to navigate their website because they've got a bunch of software all on the same page. But you should be in their folder.
Radioactivity. Their folder on the right here, maybe.
If you go, well, I don't know. It looks different on my computer. But if you go to their download folder and then click on the link that says multimedia, they've got all the stuff that deals with light and sound.
Okay.
And it's somewhere. Yeah, it's not that one. It's quite a bit further down. If you do a word search for spectrometer, it might come up.
Yeah, only thing coming
in the live chat. The link here. What we are looking at for anybody who wants to download it themselves, as it is free.
Theramino.
Yeah, we'll save the link for you here, and you can go through here because it looks like there's a bunch of cool tools.
You make
here.
your own camera.
Theramino.com. And yeah, very useful if you have a Moog Theremin, apparently. I'll send it to my buddy Andy. All right. Well, then, so Charlie, you were going to share.
Yeah,
so
clarify a few things.
A theremin, essentially. Sorry.
So this.
Is that what it goes?
Oh, let's do it.
To certain things. Oh my God! It's
gravitometer.
So you're Wolverine. This is like Wolverine's arm. This is terrifying.
So confusion is the gravitometer is something from Alexei Chekhov. He made part of the gravel flyer to test the high voltage fields around the gravel flyer right before it takes off. So there'll be light, green and red lights that light up when the high voltage, around these antennas are picked up. So it's confusion because in Ghostbusters there's the PK meter, and let me try to share my screen here, and that's kind of looks like this. but they're different. So this is for like the anti-gravity projects, and I do have another.
I can't see your. Did you share screen or where you
Oh
want?
no, not yet. Let me share screen again. Okay, share. There we go. Share. Okay.
Oh, there we go.
Yep. So this is a PKE device from Ghostbusters.
Yeah, look at that shit.
Man,
yeah.
It
kind of looks similar, but
it kind of looks like the Orgasmatron, if you remember from the movie. What's it? Orgasmo?
Orgasmo, yeah. There's more to it than just resembling what it looks like in the movie, though. You actually sent one of these off to which group was it again, Charlie?
Yeah, there was a spirit group that are mediums that try to contact ghosts and spirits.
And you sent them a geranium orgasmatron? Oh, I'm sorry. What's it called again?
So it's called a germanium receptor, TDC, transdimensional communicator. So this is something
transdimensional communicator,
unrelated to the gravitometer. So this is more of a different product. So we were talking about multiple things. That's why it got confusing. Yeah. So this is what it looks like. Really, it's a coil that are wrapped around. And what was interesting, they got the design from Thomas Alva Edison's ghost while in their seance. And he wrote it on some film that was just locked in a lockbox during their session. And then when they developed the film, they got the instructions on how to build this. So I built the second one. His first one was lost after the main lead, Robin Foy, had passed away, and it was put in storage. But there was enough about the design online that I was able to recreate it. So you can see the Society for Psychical Research, SPR, put designs online, and that's how I built it for this new group that's in Spain doing this. And they got some information from their spirit team they call Singing Winds. They said that the TDC I built them and that they're testing it was working, and there wasn't any changes needed. And basically that they just had to add a bowl of water to help with the sitting, because they're in a dry and dusty environment. So that should also help with the TDC. So hopefully those spirits will be communicating through it. It's kind of like a microphone or a EVP, electronic voice phenomenon.
Talking to the spirit world.
Yes, exactly.
So you literally rebuilt a design that was mediumed through the ghost of Edison, you said?
Yep.
Thomas Edison?
Thomas Edison, yep.
So Thomas Edison's ghost gave this design, you built it, and now you've sent it to a spirit group, and they've confirmed that they're using it to communicate with the other side.
Yep, that's basically it. So I'll put the designs on free online. Anyone else can build it. And if the tricky part is doing the meditation, that could take months to years to build up the energy that they do through their meditation. But there's also a PDF on how to do that. I sent that to you. We can go through that maybe another time.
Yeah, we'll do a full real science episode on it, because this is absolutely fascinating.
Okay. But you've got to build up like the address book yourself kind of thing.
And there's three main energies. Yeah, there's the spirit energy from the spirits. There's human energy that they take from the people that are the mediums. And there is earth energy, like the landlines you might be familiar with. There's some energy from Earth. They combine these three energies into the energy that's used for communication. And they get voice and video and apports, so objects will appear. Mostly these stones. So here's some of the pictures from the last sitting, and they'll just be sitting in meditation and this circle and a table, and these will just appear, and they'll hear them fall, and sometimes land in people's hands and land in their lap. And we're still doing some. I asked them if they would do some scanning electron microscope tests on it. Yeah, because there's some
actually getting these crystals like appearing within their groups, like during their medium.
Yeah, they're called apports. Yeah. And they'll appear, and we don't really know why or what they're for. So I think by studying the chemical composition of them, might be able to learn more about them. If they're coming from Earth or maybe another planet, they might have isotopes from another planet. So there's some studying.
Dimension. That's a very fascinating theory.
Any tachyons?
Have you seen the spirit photos from the late 1800s?
No, photos. I'm not sure about that. There's been some recordings.
Want to share some of them, Campbell?
Last time.
What? The spirit photo. What are like the spirit where they have them in mirrors and stuff. Hang on, let me. I'm gonna have to find.
Yeah, bring some up, Campbell. I'd love to get Charlie's opinion on this. I think you've seen them before, Zertis.
Yeah, an older method was to use ectoplasm, which it comes from the mediums themselves, and it's like a white smoke that will appear, and that could form into a human figure, or even parts of a human, and they can interact with it that way. But they discontinued that method because ectoplasm was dangerous for the medium. If they were startled or someone like turned on a light or opened a door, the ectoplasm would return really quickly and then cause hemorrhaging and blood, a lot of damage to the medium. So they no longer use that method. But there's other ways to produce the same effect of the sound and the images. Yeah, there it is. So it looks like smoke. And a lot of spirits will appear in like a white robe or white clothes. And they've been, there's a lot of images of this similar phenomena.
They've got them. There's not one spirit.
Right?
What are the spirit machine things called? The spirit.
Point it out if you could. There were some clever ones that worked. It's not to say that there weren't some at that time.
That's absolutely fascinating.
Oh yes. Yeah, but I'll have to find them. There are other ones but they've got these machines, like they look like machines, and then there's got these sort of spirits inside, like these machine things.
So ectoplasm is actually a gas rather than a liquid, is what you're saying.
Don't tell me Ghostbusters lied to me. Come on, it's green slime, isn't it?
Yeah,
no, definitely not green. I'd say it's more white in most cases. But yeah, it'll sometimes appear as like a smoke or a liquid, and it can even seem physical at times, solid. And when felt, if like it appears as a hand, it would mostly be cold to the touch.
Such as death.
Wow, like moonlight.
That's actually fascinating.
It's really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of great books on it. Some I had to get directly from Robin Foy, which I think are out of print, but I'll have to show you when we do it like a more in depth. I'll show you the books I have from him.
All right. I'll be back in 5. You got the floor. It's your show.
Okay. What was I going to go on about? The Sophegios. But before that, if we're talking about these spirits and such, what about the Carillion frequency? Do you know much about Carillion photography and the Carillion frequency, Charlie?
I've seen some of it. I know there's some when I went and visited and seen it that we're just using a computer vision and not really the right effects of it. More the Carillion would be passing high voltage through a person and then seeing like the aura that produces on film. But yeah, there's a lot of different methods to produce it, but I'm not sure how accurate it is or what it shows.
I've got a car battery, some jumper cables. One of you guys want to get hooked up? Who are you gonna hook up?
I think that's also more a torture technique there, KY.
Sorry about that. Back to the cheap seats for me.
I'm pretty sure there's a specific frequency, Hertzian frequency, that is the Carillion frequency itself. I'll have to look it up more. No idea. But off that note, the frequencies that we are supposed to be talking about are the Sophegio frequencies. How much do you know about these specific frequencies, Charlie?
I haven't studied these in particular, so don't know much. But
so
I'm interested to learn.
I was tipped off actually by ex-military man that did a bunch of research into this, and that when he was putting the Sophegio specifically through these toroid coils that he made, you'd be able to feel different physical effects on it. And then that aspect fascinated me. I've looked more into the Sophegios since, and they are affiliated with the chakras and the chakra points and metaphysics a lot. But they're also like Tesla's numbers, the 369, the 6339, and the 963 hertz.
Bernie, that's sure a coinkydink if I ever saw it.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's 3 of the main ones in it. I recommend you experiment with these specific hertz frequencies with your signal generators.
Yes, experiment. Experiment.
Yeah, Tesla coils, when you pass a high voltage and high frequency in it, you could touch it and you feel it vibrating in, the wireless energy will pass through you.
I love how you just happen to have a Tesla coil. Like, let me just grab my Tesla coil that sits beside me in my, just for such an occasion. I have
plenty of Tesla coils. Yeah.
They're required, though, key part of Lexi's gravel flyer, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Mike, you still there, Mr. Faraday Research?
Yep, I'm here.
Do you want to discuss and talk a bit about the frequencies that you're putting into your water structure machine?
Yeah, well, I've been doing it for a couple of years now, and I have actually a chart. If you go to the Spooky 2 website, they make a digital Rife machine, and they have a free PDF file. If you look on the left-hand side, you can download this PDF file that has all the frequencies for all the health issues: liver, heart, cardiovascular, um, over 200 different frequencies that over the years they've accumulated all this information in a database now. So all you have to look up is the issue that you're trying to fix and put that into your Rife machine or signal generator, turn it to that frequency, and I use mainly 528 hertz or 432 hertz for the structured water. So I also spin the water into a vortex, like a tornado effect, which implodes the water. Then that goes through a pump, and then that goes through a set of high-powered neodymium magnets to neutralize any transient frequency or electromagnetic frequencies that are locked in the water, and those magnets neutralize it. And then the piezo transducers are on the side of the tank, and basically turns the whole tank into like a giant loudspeaker. And I pump the 528 hertz signal into that tank while it's actually spinning in the process. So it's a combination of a few things that are going on at the same time. And you let it, I believe it's 8 gallon. And I spin it for about 7 days, and then it's ready to drink. So.
Right. So 528 is one of the Solfeggio frequencies. And I have up on screen here the cymatic frequency of what it actually looks like. So that's the structure, the cymatic frequency geometry that you are essentially pumping into the water that you are then consuming.
Yeah. So see those images there? I'm going to make a little experiment when I get some free time. It's basically going to be like a speaker, and it's going to have a plate on top that's going to be black. And what you do is you sprinkle sand on it, and then you pump the frequency into the device. That plate now will resonate at, say, 528 hertz or whatever you're doing, and it will form those structures that you're looking on the screen. It's quite amazing when it actually does it. It's like magic right before your eyes.
Right? Like it's so cool. I've seen I need to get a signal generator to start doing this into my electrolysis reactions. I've seen one guy that was putting, I think it was the 369 frequency or 396 hertz here into his colloidal silver or monoatomic silver, making electrolysis, and literally the little clusters of monoatomic silver turned into these geometries.
BurnEye, there is a chart out there. You have to search it out. I haven't actually had time to do it, but there is a chart out there for all these different elements that you're working with. It's a chart that actually tells you exactly what frequency each element is. So if you do that, get that chart, and it'll tell you what the resonant frequency of copper, or aluminum or steel or whatever you're doing. It's on this chart. And as soon as you find out the frequency of what you're trying to transmutate, put that into your signal generator, turn it on, and let it go.
I am definitely going to have to follow up with that and get onto that.
Yeah,
That's essential.
Look how creative
Yes.
those pictures are.
So another thing with the Solfeggios is that they're each aligned to or represented to a specific color. Charlie, do you know if like these Hertzian waves are actually those specific light colors, or is that just an urban myth from the New Age folk?
Hey, Humphrey, pass the joint. Humphrey, pass.
I don't know what kind of frequencies they're talking about. Are they talking about light or about voltage?
Light
or
specific
sound?
light color.
Okay, so what frequency of light produces that color? I'm not sure if those frequencies. Let me see.
They turn into positive vibes. Real good.
Positive vibes only.
Positive vibes. Well, you need a balance.
Sorry. Are you looking that up, Charlie? I'll share your screen.
Sure, it could be nanometers of light. And did they say what units was on that chart?
It was hertz.
Okay.
And do you want to share your screen? Sorry, I'm just having a little issues with my internet connectivity.
Okay. Sure. So here's what I'm looking at. Real quick. All right. So here's the spectrum of light that's visible, and here is the wavelength in nanometers. So hertz would probably be, well, they're trying to convert it to sound. So I'm not sure how they would equate sound with light.
Of light than the visual light spectrum.
But
so that's the visual light spectrum you've got up right there.
Is that after interference of sound, or is that just the spectrum itself?
That's the spectrum of light wave, correct?
So here's hertz frequency.
Yeah. It is. There's an visible light. Yeah, that's with the frequency.
So 400.
Look at that. That's pretty.
400. Yeah, so 400 is red. Yeah, so that's actually lining up. The 400 hertz being infrared.
Yeah, it shows terahertz. That's much
terahertz. Sorry.
Higher. Yeah.
Terahertz.
Okay.
Violet and purple are sky high.
And then, yeah, so purple violet is 963. Yeah, I guess that's a bit off. Yeah, that's off. Yeah. Yeah, so that's just an urban fairy tale then.
What's been debunked?
Yeah, and terahertz is hard to produce with most commercially available equipment. That's some of the, they were talking about the terahertz waveguide. You might have heard Jeremy Reyes talking about that. Some of the materials that, from alleged UFO crashes might use to create levitation would be like a terahertz kind of device, and that's something I don't have capabilities of. Even in my lab, you need a special heavy-duty equipment for that. Maybe John Hutchison might have something.
Have you heard about
military surplus?
Have you heard about the glasses with the red lenses from Vietnam when the fighter pilots were wearing them and they were saying that they could see demons?
I heard about that.
Yeah, Cliff High's story and several others have brought that up since, that supposedly infrared goes into the demon spectrum of light, and then which is the infrared, and then also the supposedly auras are visible in the ultraviolet light wave energy, and like cobalt blue glass lenses supposedly help you see auras and whatnot. So it's in this aura energy essentially is ultraviolet, and demon energy light is essentially infrared.
They stopped using that. They stopped using that after that incident, didn't they?
So the urban legend goes.
Aren't all our controllers full of infrared though? Like all these, I don't know. Do people even still have TVs? You know, like TV controllers and things. Aren't they infrared?
From the television.
Yeah, exactly right. The controller uses infrared to the television. Great. Get your programming here.
Well, going a little bit further on that ultraviolet infrared dimension subject, isn't it interesting that our visible light spectrum and the colors we see is specifically in between those two, and then we lose sight of that visible light spectrum when you're going further into both either the infrared or the ultraviolet?
Oh, what? Oh, this... What's going on here?
Charlie,
so what's my
we need to make some red-blue glasses that see infrared and ultraviolet.
Okay, that's a good idea.
That we could print off the 3D printer for like $3. Thank you in advance.
Sure, that's a good idea.
Adam, what you got much to say today? Good space case. Been a little quiet there.
Actually, somebody called on the phone, so that's why I'm not talking.
Fair enough.
Well, if they're more interesting than us, just go ahead, I guess. So, what are we talking about? Frequency. I'm sure I had something to say on frequency.
Right?
Yeah, the infrared, but that'd be kind of interesting if you could use that kind of technology and you use that, like, say, on the Webb telescope, and then you could see planets that were, say, destroyed, and then you wonder if there was anything that you could see from something that died, again, seeing auras of what existed on that planet. That'd be interesting if you use that technology.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? I don't know. I'm just kind of spitballing here.
For sure. For sure.
Because, you know, we're seeing with that infrared demons or something else that lived here, maybe something that died, a ghost, an apparition. What would happen if you saw that on an apparition where there used to be a planet where something did exist? And then you would see with that technology what did exist there, because it's, again, dead. So that maybe those within physics, maybe those rules apply to whatever that is, if it's biological. Carbon based, not silicon based.
It's interesting that like 3D glasses, they used to be like one blue and one red, wasn't it?
Yeah, in the 50s. I know someone who made animation with that, actually. It was kind of interesting, but yeah, like those were the first 3D movies. It's a big deal back then.
That'd make a good 3D movie, wouldn't it?
In the 50s, they had them all the time. And then that dude in the Back to the Future movie.
Those red blue grasses.
Right? Yeah, I remember them giving those away at the movies when I was younger, first going up. But so red and blue give you a third dimension.
Does it bring them together? And it's almost like the Vesica Pisces, right? Do you see sort of the middle bit, the crossover?
Could it go further? Could there be another dimension?
That is kind of what it does, but you know, is there something more going on?
Could we comprehend it? We could just know of its existence.
I mean, it is called 3D, right? They you know, 3D. It's in the
world. Boom, right there. Space case with the red-blue shift.
Nice.
No, it's kind of interesting. I have like a pair of underwear where if you put those on, because it's set up like that, it sticks out. But only when you wear those kind of glasses.
What? If you put your underwear
with those delving into a personal story about what goes on with 3D glasses in your bedroom.
That may be true, but it does have to do with science.
All right. Yeah, there was science involved. A little bit of science.
No, certain things are certain colors. You put those on and they appear 3D. And that was my point. That pattern was on. Yeah, that.
I feel it.
No, well, yeah.
So little Walter Russell's. Let's take a look at Walter Russell's diagram here of the color and light.
Good old Walter. Where would we be without him?
Oh, so you're talking about your spectrometer for measuring transmutations within gases?
Yes.
Like, are you doing it in like the tubes, glass tubes? And do you know if Walter Russell's work on that, specifically that and the transmutations he was getting in that 100 years ago?
I am unfamiliar with that, and I bought these off of Amazon. They're the noble gases in a little cylinder, and you can light them up with a Tesla coil, and I figured that's a good starting point.
Nice. I like that.
And I've got a regular spectrometer, but it's not digital, and somebody had said that the lines of the bright line spectrum.
Yeah.
You can kind of see it.
Gotcha.
That some of those lines will disappear under certain circumstances. And I definitely want to explore that as well.
Yes. So when you put different, when you burn different elements and measure the light, the flame in that, the lines will either appear or disappear for the specific colors that element is made out of.
It's like someone's lifeline on a video game.
That's
really
how
cool.
I liked it. How the mass spectrometer works.
Man, I want to set up like that.
Yeah.
Right? KY smooth.
Screen envy.
Not harsh. Very smooth.
Appreciate that. I have an addiction. If someone has a helpline I could call about hardware addiction, please DM me.
It's okay. We're putting it to use. We are putting it to use. So we are live on Twitch. We are live on Twitter, and we are live on 4 YouTubes still. Sorry for cutting you off there, Campbell. And Campbell, back to the cymatics and geometries. Do you want to delve a little bit into your research into all of that and the star forts and the ancient structures?
Ancient structures is a must.
Yes, I don't have any pictures. Oh, hang on, let me have a look. Yes, I mean, it's we've been looking at the star forts and cathedrals, rose windows, cymatics, the work of Dr. Emoto, and just seeing a consistency across the whole sort of board of frequency, right? Their frequency signatures, and they seem to have been built into the architecture of the old world, especially the cathedrals. And there's a lady, and I'm completely unprepared, so I don't know what her name is, but she actually went into cathedrals and recorded the silence of the cathedral. And then after that, she played that silence back and recorded a second time and did that 7 times, and it ended up with a frequency. So all these buildings have a built-in resonant frequency by the looks of it. And then you got the water connection, right? They're all built over water. The stars, the star forts are all built, they're all motored, if you want to use that. Oh, hello. So there's a big frequency thing, right? And of course, that's one of the big things they changed is the music went from 432 to 440 hertz. And yeah, there you go. That's it in a summation.
Alter mood.
I believe that alters mood between 440 and 432. Specific clips of Marilyn Manson talking about how he uses different frequencies in his music and his sound engineering, especially for movie tracks, and how it affects the different emotions within people. I want to play the clip, but I think it'd probably get us copyright.
They have that with the warfare with specific types of weapons that they use to like make people anxious with certain sound, and they use sound like sonic technology, right? So that's that's disconcerting
as well.
Imagine a technology where someone can make you feel bummed out, and then that's when they attack you when you're most vulnerable. I mean, think about it. It's clever, right?
There is a technology, it's called social media, that does that already.
Yeah, he's got it. No, that's part of it. See, there's more than
and
one.
Then we've got all the trumpets, right?
But not this social media.
Oh, sorry, Campbell. Sorry, that 4-second delay. We'll shut up and let you talk.
Sorry, is my delay really, really bad?
Well, every time it's just 4 seconds because of the distance of you in Australia and us over in North America.
Yeah, but it's not me that's far away, it's you. So I don't get it.
don't mind accepting being far away. That's all
I
right.
was just going to say we have all these stories of the trumpets, right? It's all to do with sound and frequency. The walls of Jericho, the angels with the trumpets. There's I've even got pictures. It's all trumpets, right? Like angels up in the air, blowing things exploding. And it's always associated, with like stuff up in the sky that's demolishing, right?
They did it on the
Buildings and civilizations.
Oh yeah.
What's the other one? The seven horns of, or the seven trumpets of, I don't know, the Armageddon or the apocalypse or something like that.
Do you think one or two have already been set up?
Oh yeah.
You know those videos where everyone could hear it in the wilderness? Remember in BC, and then you could hear all the. Remember that was going on? That was a couple of years ago. Some people were actually thinking that could have been in one of them. Do you think that's true? Or do you think that was just a trend of 2000 whatever?
Right, yeah, that was strange. You guys
Remember that?
all those different videos of people hearing like crazy.
There's been more,
and recording them too. So I mean, there was, but I mean, whether there was a correlation to it just being faked or it was a trend and other people were doing it, that's the real question. Because it just kind of stopped or it just didn't get reported. And then remember those monoliths not too long ago that have been reported everywhere? But then a lot of them were just people just doing it, just again doing it with the trend. So that's what. But you got to wonder if any of those trumpets, getting back to that, were actually sound, and if it's a literal like an actual thing, or if it's symbolic.
Was the weapon or technology?
Yeah, that kind of stuff. You know.
Well, that's the thing. It's probably to do with definitely do with the sound, right? That they make, and I've got some. Oh, that's a big one.
You know, in the Bible, you know, when they were marching around and the sound, and then they blasted the trumpets, and that sound destroyed
Jericho.
And so, I mean, there could be science behind that, so there could be a form of validity.
Right, like look at the
I've got these
Tibetan
pictures. I don't know where they are.
Of,
the World War II. Hang on, let me see if I can find them.
Charlie, I've got a question for you. Since geometry amplifies sound wave energy, is that essentially a free energy machine or device?
What device? Like
a horn, or a cup,
Interesting. I think it makes it louder but less decibel, kind of like a transformer. You could increase one, but it lowers another aspect of it.
Gotcha.
But my comparative research was talking about this Cloudme. I have a device that could do that. So you just provide like an AC signal, and it'll create the vibration. And I plan to test this with the Alexei Chekhov center disc. So there's a hole in it, and you mount it onto that, and then you'll be able to put salt or fine grains.
Is it on the other side? Just the one side? It's just on the one side? Oh.
Yeah, there's a little screw. You unscrew this and just put it in to it. So it just needs one hole.
Nice.
In the center.
Right there it is.
Right now I got it hooked up to a Variax, so I can only do 60 hertz. But I'll have to get a way to adjust the frequency. I have a frequency generator, but it doesn't produce enough amplitude to feel the vibration. I was just testing that. But I'll try to find some sand or salt or something, and then see if we can do a live video of it vibrating at 60 hertz.
Nice, some live cymatics.
Well, water looks interesting when it's adjusted with decibels. You know, it makes different patterns and stuff, right? And look at snowflakes. You know how every snowflake is different, right? Isn't that correct? It makes sound kind of like those kind of
yeah. So these are the different.
That's what it reminded me when I saw some
notes. What their cymatic frequency is in water.
It's very neat.
Some of these sound weapons.
What about the top of Jupiter? You know how it's like kind of like a hexagon on the top, and then there's kind of layering on Jupiter like that. Do you think there's a kind of similarity to?
Right, that would be like what planet Jupiter would be vibrating at its resonant frequency.
But those layers too, like you know how it layers, and you could see different, forms of different gases, but they're all like going into those kind of patterns, almost similar to those two-dimensional ones, but it's a three-dimensional planet.
Yeah, right, because the
or something
layers of gas or plasma, whatever it is the whole atmosphere is turning into those geometries. Interesting, right? It's like, because isn't Earth's resonant frequency, the Schumann resonance. Is that how it is? Charlie, do you know about that? Like,
You know,
what is
the lowest
Schumann
possible resonance?
Or Adam, yeah, the
it's
around
resonance?
7.3, isn't it? The Schumann.
What would
I think it's around 11 at the moment. It used to be.
Was it 200? I think it was 200.
Are we going to get into a brown note discussion? Shit.
The brown note? I've had it disclosed to me.
It's not BurnEye, you're fine.
That the brown note is real, and that if you play it through these certain vortex coils, that brown note frequency, you will poop yourself.
Well, you don't. Yeah. I remember Jay Leno was joking about that. He was like comparing it to a burrito. It was called the diarrhea gun that the military had, this form of technology, and it would upset your stomach and just make you just go right there and then. No shame, but lots of it after. You think?
Wow.
Right?
See, this is years ago. They keep all this stuff under wraps. You only find out about it now, and it's like, well, man, they already made it up, but they already had all these rules, and now it's banned, but they're still working on stuff like that. But the diarrhea gun, no, when you said like stuff that would deliberately upset your gut and make it like, I mean, yeah, how can you fight when you crapped your pants?
Oh man, if you saw someone coming
how do you
with
keep on the mission? I
guns,
mean, you got something on your mind, obviously, after that, you know. The real bomb's been dropped at that point, you know.
That's just unsettling.
You better hope you got some, something.
Don't want to put that in.
Good clean change. Yeah,
That'd be some really shitty music.
Yeah, you can make a lot of puns intended for that, the continuance of this conversation. But anyways, yes, frequency can do a lot of good and real shitty things.
Right?
Real shitty things, man.
Do you want to take it away?
Diarrhea.
That's up to you. No, I'm just waiting until it's okay.
I think that's always okay.
It's okay.
It's always okay.
Okay.
You
I guess I'll go over here.
Comedy geeks in front of that green screen.
Oh.
Did you see share the frequency?
In the meantime, while you're figuring out some stuff, I'll do a little bit of beatboxing, imitating some turntable. The name of science. Hang on.
Don't get a brown note on us.
Transformation.
For those genuine fans.
Talking about all that science. Was it sounding good so far? Was that all right?
Yeah, buddy.
I hope it was okay. Hang on. I was just going to do one last thing, and then we'll get right back onto it. I know it. I don't want to get too irrelevant here. Hang on. Thank you, guys. My name's Ominous, by the way. Ominous.
Dun, dun, dun.
Ominous. Yeah, check me out on YouTube. I have like all sorts of videos. I look different than everyone, but yes, shamefully, it's me. Check me out.
Well, you can, brother. Ominous.
Thank you. All in the name of science. Resonation sound.
I could do a live demo, and that ties in directly because Ernest Chladni was a German physicist and musician, so he combined both his talents, and he's known for the Chladni figures, which he mounted metal plate to a wooden post and then used a violin bow to vibrate it, and that's how he got the Chladni figures. So we can do a live demo with this similar device, and I'm using cinnamon, just household cinnamon, to try to put some of the powder on here, and a Variac, which is only at 60 hertz, but I can control the amplitude with that to connect to this Chladni generator you can get on Amazon.
Nice. So we're gonna have some live cymatic demonstration
with cinnamon.
With cinnamon,
because
it's gonna be spicy,
crunchy.
Yeah, the two things that affect Colodny figures are the frequency you're applying, which I only have one frequency, and the size
I
and
so want to jack
shape
this up and
material.
watch cinnamon everywhere in your fun looking setup. Oh my god!
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
Okay,
things smell
I'm
nice
too
in
anal
here.
to do this around my electronics, so I'm glad you're willing to do this in your lab. Thank you.
Yeah,
for
it's
the
getting everywhere.
sacrifice.
But for science, yeah.
Mars.
All right, let's turn it on. So we get something to vibrate.
Keep it locked though.
I don't see much of a pattern. So, interesting. Some of the amplitudes are the peaks here.
They're all flocking like a.
And the nodes, but it is kind of falling everywhere. There you go. I didn't really
Looks like
see
little
any
amoeba
figures.
growing.
They're all like
I'll
going
have to
off
test
to
more
something.
with different frequencies and different shapes. But yeah, depending on the shape used, normally used a square plate to help with that, and then you could hold it at different areas of the plate and then get different frequencies based on that, because the plate would vibrate differently based on where you're holding it. So maybe I could try that too. One point. Let's see if I can get it to vibrate.
So what do you have going through it right now?
It's just AC from a Variac. This little red device here, and it is here. And it just creates a speaker that vibrates it.
But what specific frequency?
60 hertz.
60 hertz.
Power outlet here.
Can you try to change it to 6.39 hertz?
Would that be tickling?
possible?
Would that?
Fortunately, the Variac only does amplitude, not frequency, so I have to get some other way to adjust the frequency. See, it's fixed at 60.
It's very red.
Gotcha.
Look at that.
Yeah. I'll have to maybe next time.
Maybe
red's
my
my
favorite
For
color,
sure.
I think.
I'll have to do like a way to connect the AC and this device here to control signal generator to control frequency.
Metallics.
Because it controls frequency well, but it doesn't have enough amplitude to vibrate the plate.
Gotcha.
That's the general idea.
Oh, was that a telescope back there?
Yep.
Oh, those are nice.
Very nice.
There's a lot going on up there. It's always good to throw it up and take a look once in a while,
Keep your eyes to the skies.
No, seriously. Well, as long as all those Starlink, get in the way. That's all. You'll watch that.
Yeah,
Starlink satellites.
My
It's
mom's
funny watching
neighbor
them.
saw them and like tripping
Going
out.
to
They're like,
dot.
is there an invasion? And then my mom brought up a Google
You can see 'em
picture of
with the naked
Starlink
eye.
when she texted me. I
Yeah.
was like, it's Starlink.
Yeah, and they're constellations. They're not like a little satellite or even large satellite. Or, it's a constellation. There's a series of satellites that move in unison with several other series of satellites to cover the Earth.
It's funny, they go on a straight dot line. Yeah, it's like it was sewn. But the astronomers don't like it, so hopefully it doesn't get in the way. Along with the light pollution, everything else that does.
Just as long as they don't come flying back down at us on fire.
Oh, like in some countries that have done that. Well, it happens. It happens to us all. So what? It happens.
All right, sorry, Campbell, you were just getting into showing some things there. Do you want to bring back your screen and get into these ancient sound devices? Like for the Tibetan horns and the legends of like the alms and like the different chants that they'd put into these different musical instruments.
Yeah, so like the throat singing and the Tibetan chanting and all that kind of stuff. What did I find here? I found something. Gosh, see now.
Where's that one place? There's the whole place is designed so that you could stand in the center and then you can echo, and because of the way that it's, do you know what I'm talking
the
about?
Sophia, it's in Malta, the underground chambers, the sound chambers in Malta.
I would love to beatbox there. That would be
right.
Boom!
Oh my god, that would be the ultimate ominous.
But the way that it transfers the sound is so incredible.
Yeah, it amplifies it exponentially.
Yeah.
Oh, and like those things, right? Like, look at that from World War I, World War II. Like these sound weapons from back in the day, beatboxing into those.
That's what I was saying. I'd be like, what a music video would be cool. And then, But anyways,
We
no,
have
no,
to
no.
crowdfund
So the
Ominous
the
some
place
of
is cool.
these, and then also going to Malta to meet up with Paul Cook. That's what we have to plan, Campbell. We're gonna do an Ominous show.
It looks nice there, though.
What?
Yeah, man, I'm into it.
I'll post.
Give us your
Link, yeah.
I don't really. Well,
What-
right
do you
now,
have-
I mean, I just have like my basic, just Ominous on Beatbox on YouTube. Like,
Okay.
Ominous Beatbox on YouTube, TikTok, Ominous one.
Oh.
That's it. Those are my only.
Can you
links.
share those? Because I'm
Ominous
blocked on
Beatbox on
TikTok. I'm
YouTube.
finding it
That's a
on
good
YouTube.
Ominous
You're a
Beatbox.
naughty boy, Bernie.
I usually don't give it away because I forget to, and I do shows in the
Right.
right. Yeah,
Oh,
that Beatbox
boom,
guy.
right
I know how to get around that, right, Bernie.
That's the
Last
Beatbox.
time,
Like,
Just stop yourself
episode
getting
4, I swear I
banned.
asked you and you said no. Illuminate the show?
Oh, Illuminate was.
You just need to do 3 twerking videos or one as a nurse, and you'll be
But-
fine.
That's not your.
The interviewer was really nice. He's on the ice. And,
But do you have an actual channel?
Oh,
Speed.
someone
right here. Let's see.
talking.
On
go to
KLTD.
like
I'm
yeah,
trying
the
to
one
find
down
you.
there. Go down. There's one with Pier Pot there.
Uh-huh.
That's on the elevator. That one's a good one.
Boom.
It's fun. It's me and at one point, like we went to the Beatbox Championships. We had a fun time. He was #1, I think, 3rd year in. But we did this in an elevator, and it was really cool. And yeah. Are we playing? It's not, well,
hold
if you ever
on.
get a chance to
Hold
check it
on.
out, it's
Here
really
we
cool.
go. Here we go. This thing right here. Ominous in the elevator. Oh, was the sound working? Can you guys hear it? Oh, my sound's not working.
Oh, if it doesn't work, then it's on.
Oh, it is working.
Oh, yeah. Holy yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's not gonna work.
Check it
It's
out.
not gonna work.
It's all gravy.
It's not gonna work. The feedback loop. The feedback loop will start.
The Shambhala ones were pretty fun too.
We will post the links. I will post the links in the description after the
You're standing
video.
on the speakers, so then you feel the vibration of that. That was kind of cool. It was another experience. I knew I'd
Have you got 3 people in the room with you there, Bernie? Because I'm getting very confused.
Yes. We are in the KY Smooth, and there's all 3 of us in one room.
Okay, that's why there's so many screens.
Right? Because it's like, whoop, and then there's
Now I
there's
get it.
the KY Smooth, and thank you, Lady Locks, and the Ominous, and the BurnEye, the Charlie C, the Adam, and the Cam. So Cam, you know the actual name? It's like Sofa something in the underground place in Malta that they found the elongated skulls. The name of that one?
Yeah.
No, but I've done a video on
I'm right. I've talked about it like 10 times before.
That's Skull Vodka. I heard that Dan Aykroyd has a take.
Myself, I am blaming short-term POTS memory loss, but
Short-term,
that happens.
yes.
That'll happen.
That's okay. We can think like a quantum computer, apparently.
The way it's carved, it amplifies sound. It's something else. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? The Cephalla something. It's where like the ancient oracles used to live in Malta.
From hang on.
Like free room and board, or did they? Is that all they?
Hey.
Yeah, I wonder if there was rent.
Right.
Like they had those caves. They went so far down, could hold up to 20,000 people.
House Saflieni Hypergeum.
Hypergeum. There we go. The Hypergeum.
They could have had that because it was an extinction level event, and they were building it in the case of whatever was going on at the time, possibly to make sure survival
all
was
throughout
evident.
that area. Do you want to bring it up, Cam? Is your internet better than mine? Campbell, big news. I got a new laptop and a new cell phone on the way for better editing and video production.
Awesome. Guess who's got a new job?
Me.
So here's a picture.
No longer hassling you.
guessing.
There we go. That's the spot. Right? That's where you want to do the show.
Something like that, yes. Well, I know what this one spot looked like. It was just it was so
That's
nice.
it.
Yeah. That's it. Wouldn't it be fun? It
That's
tripped me
the
out.
main- that's
There's
the
also
main-
like
How about this, people? What about that one place? Where is it in
whispering
Minnesota?
walls.
The one place where it's like negative decibels. So you go in, you can hear your heartbeat. No one can really go in there longer than 45 minutes at a time.
What?
Have you ever heard of that place? It's a place where it's negative 15 decibels, I think, up or more. And you go in and you can hear your organs after you're in this room. And it's really hard for the longest anyone's really been in there is less than an hour. But it's
Wow,
the
that's
most
a big
quietest
room.
place in the world because of the way that the room is. Yeah, somewhere around there. I'm not sure. I heard it was Minnesota somewhere.
Minnesota.
Yeah, but they have these quiet rooms where they're negative decibels, and you can hear your things like your and it's crazy. Actually,
Is
people
that like a sensitive or like sensory deprivation?
they just
sort of
can't
thing,
can't
or-
handle it, and they go, and it's like people of every sort. I mean, people you think you could
Thank
do
you,
it.
David.
You think you could do it, and it seems like just from the sound of it, yeah, sure, I can go in there and put up with it, but you hear weird things, very strange things.
Man, I've never heard of that. That's fascinating.
It could even be in Seattle. No, that's a totally different area. I know that, but I'm just saying, like, yeah, but look that up. And then,
I mean,
and
I'm
here's
sure cathedrals are like that as well to a certain extent because, choirs and organs and
that's when you
all
could
this
be hearing
stuff.
things that
That's
we're not meant to hear, and that's when maybe sometimes there's another dimensional. Maybe there's kind of like how you're talking about the infrared, like the red, but this like with the again decibels. If this all has a relation to decibels, you're going on the positive spectrum. If you go in the negative, like these rooms. Yeah,
and if we're just like
I've always wanted to hear what it'd be like to go in there. Sorry.
If we're just frequency, it probably freaks you out to not be around frequency frequently. It's a freak.
I just think hearing my heartbeat at that level and all these other things going on, like squishy, weird kind of sounds, it would. And then also there's other things too that would probably make your mind say, I got to get out of here, kind of thing. Whatever that would be. You think?
Oh, it's fascinating, like thought process.
Talk into the mic.
I am.
Sorry,
I am.
I'm smoking.
Bertie can't talk. The mics can walk with him. He can take it with him, but he's smoking, so he can smoke and mic at the same time. Look at that technology.
Here we go. There we go.
But then there's
Where are you guys? Whose garage are you in?
We are in KY Smooth Studio Garage. It is fantastic.
Studio garage. Sorry, I didn't mean to say. I meant studio garage.
It's
clearly it's a studio and a garage.
There's definitely
full-on
major
dope.
screen envy going on.
Nice.
But
So have we got anything? What have we got planned? Anything else here, Bernie? We seem to have lost Mike and Andreas.
Yeah, so Andreas had to go to another show, but we're still live on his channel. How long are we at here? Hour and a half. We still got a good half hour. There's a bug alive in the garage.
He deserves to live.
Campbell, you don't understand. In Canada,
it happens.
everything is dead at this point.
They're smart. No. When you get fruit flies, for instance,
Everything is dead.
Assholes.
And it's surviving in the garage. It was like minus
Survival
20 outside
adaptation.
yesterday. It was crazy.
Dude, humans aren't supposed to live in that kind of temperature. I keep telling you this.
But that's the question, right? The Tartarians, they live in this, the Russians, but was it a different temperature back then?
Some of the coldest places in all the world have been in Canada and in Alberta.
Exactly. And Justin Trudeau's there, so I mean that's 3 good reasons to get out.
He's a cold person. He adds a couple.
He's got a very cold personality. He's brought the temperature down in your great country.
Yeah, that's not always brought down in a.
That's a good point.
That's okay though. We don't need to go there.
You think he'd like the tropics, being from Cuba and all that kind of stuff.
He likes India apparently, so he likes going.
Or China.
No.
Are we allowed to say that?
Not in particular.
Can't go political.
Oh, what about Kanye West? Hey, no, hang on. Let's not get taken.
Everybody's good. Let's all be nice. I wish the whole world could see that.
So,
all right. So who's in the chat? Hello, everyone in chat. I haven't said hello to everyone.
Right, Campbell's back.
I'm back. Yes, I've been traveling. So I need to start making some of these free energy devices and like the water, Mike's water. What is it like a fractalizing coolness thing?
Like
it's the vortex machine and then the sound frequencies that he's putting in that 528. He said so. Mike actually is putting one of the main solfeggio frequencies into that water, and from all the different picture sources that I've seen, the 528 hertz is the healing DNA frequency of the solfeggios. I can't confirm that myself. I haven't done any experiments
Nor
with
can
it.
he deny.
But that's the one that Mike's putting into his waters. So there was some questions in the chat earlier about which frequencies to start with. I would recommend with that 528. Supposedly one or two of the solfeggios can be harmful or something, so they don't use them. So I'm going to have to find out which ones those are.
He will.
And between the ranges of the solfeggios is that supposed mystery brown note.
Brown note. Oh, wow. So when you're trying to find the right note, you could like find the wrong note.
If it's brown, tuck it down. If it's black, send it back.
I know, right? People think it's funny, but it's really black and runny. God.
We're going back to the panda conspiracy.
I like it. I like it. You know.
Diarrhea, mate. Yeah, so I've been in New South Wales at Miss Kelly's farm. She's got 150 acres. Oh God, don't make a big deal about it. And yeah, so I might be cruising back there for a few months.
Really?
He's asked me to come and hang out on the farm for a while. So
are there goats on the farm?
There are no goats, but they are looking at getting mini goats.
Those are cool.
Yeah,
I bet they're just as cuddly and nice.
Goats that
and they
produce
actually
cheese.
use them as like a business. So you rent them out to people who have got like noxious weeds and stuff they want to get rid of, and you just like fence the goats off, and they go in and eat it all out, and then you.
I like that.
Absolutely brilliant.
Renting your mini goats.
Yeah, that's okay.
Renting the mini goats. So
Cheese
that's
and
pretty
mini
cool. They got a horse. They got some pigs, and they got some children.
I saw the pigs. They were pretty cute in that little video.
Yeah, they could be really good
Yeah,
pets.
yeah. Apparently, they get really, really, really big though. So
very fat. You know, when they made that movie Babe, they used like about 21 pigs because they
kept growing
so fast. Yeah,
yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, right, yeah. So
you don't want to get too
when I get back, they're going to be like 3 times the size.
And you have them breakfast
next
morning.
Yeah, they become monsters of animals, big pigs, smart pigs. The crystal batteries. Yeah, on Wednesday, I think we're doing the next Hutchinson stream on the building the crystal batteries. So it's cream of tartar as well as Rochelle salts.
Oh, that's a good name for a live stream. Cream of tartar.
No, but a little bit of sugar.
Cumin.
A little bit of
I
sugar.
need a free energy device, man.
Yeah.
I need something. I need off-grid power.
Exactly, right? And Charlie. Speaking of which, Charlie has a crystal battery that he's built and been running for a year and a half. Oops.
You can run a battery on a potato.
There it is.
Yeah, but the potato will, eventually go out and wear out. This is several years running.
How much can you store in that? Like,
well, you don't need to charge it. You just build it once and it'll keep running.
It's good.
Yeah, can you tell us a bit more about
your
battery and your experience? What you've had it going for how long, and the amount of power?
2 years now, and yeah, it's just a copper cup that you normally use in plumbing, and soldered the positive wire there, the negative wire was soldered to the zinc post, and as the zinc grows, it crystallizes, and that creates the voltage. As you were studying from another YouTuber, he had more detail on how he thinks it's working, and he built multiple models of them. And
laser saver?
Yeah, laser saver. Yeah, that's one.
Accurate time
So,
every time.
That battery is powering that clock right now.
Yeah.
Yep, that's it. There's no other battery in it. This clock's normally run by a little coin cell, 1.5 volt. So that's all it needs to power it.
So you got the zinc anode and then the copper cathode, essentially,
Zinc
or
and copper.
inverse.
Opposite. Yeah.
Opposite.
Positive anode is copper.
And then what combination did you put in as the crystal mixture? Did you use the shell salt and the cream of tartar?
No, that would be more like a crystallized. It would look like candy structure. I just used the one in Laser Saber's mixture. Let's see there, no battery. It's directly connected and taped.
Okay, so positive's coming off. The anode is the copper, and the cathode is the zinc.
Don't forget that cathode.
And that makes more sense to me that the zinc being the cathode, as if zinc was the anode, it would decay a lot faster.
Wouldn't be a good idea to eat that, would it?
No. Well, it is mostly common household items.
We're talking poison control, not the hospital. This is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
In case the little one decides to be like, "Oh, that looks like a muffin."
Cupcake,
in general,
just saying, hypothetically, you know.
Do you ever lick a battery, especially a leaking one?
That one would melt.
Because that's what you're looking at. That's what we're building. That is what we're building here.
It's very nice.
So, do they have the potential to be proper usable, hold a lot of current batteries? What do they hold? Wattage, current? I don't know.
Depends how you wire them. You can put them in series or parallel to get more current and voltage. So you just need several of them. But this one costs about $50 to make. So it depends
you just need one for that.
how much you have to
Does that
build.
just run that clock? What can you run off that?
Yeah,
Is
anything
that
that
about
runs half
can you run the fridge
amp
off it?
and 1.5 volts. You need several of them to run the fridge. You can build enough to put them underground, maybe.
So, yeah. What size of massive battery of that would you need to run a fridge? Probably something the same size as the fridge.
Size is like your 2-car garage, and then just for the floor, maybe a foot or two underneath the floor. I was thinking about that. You have to build a bunch of these to put underground and make power.
You took the time to specifically figure out 2 feet underground is enough, not 2.5, not 3. This is what we dig down a little bit, the height of a standard garage. I appreciate that, Charlie. Thank you for taking the time to think of that.
Yeah.
Innovative ideas like that make the world go round.
Yeah. I get deep down the ADD well hole too. That's awesome. You just sit there standard garage, couple extra feet. We got this. A giant battery chemical cell to power my fridge.
Well, power
Mm.
power the whole house. Be another layer.
And you can have a
we
nice
can't hear you,
mellow
Burn. Turned off.
or a beer.
The thing is there's more development with it, and that Nancy also is saying that she's got it developed, certain cells of it developed down to little pins and whatnot. So there's a lot more to it that we'll get it. It's who wants to be the first one to have to build the underground garage layer before we experiment to get it to the usable power level.
But they're actually creating the energy, right? They're not actual batteries just for storage. They're creating that voltage, right?
Yeah, they're essentially running forever, the reaction, right, Charlie?
Yep, I just built it once and it's been running ever since. Don't need to charge it, don't need to do anything to it.
And so it's more like a generator than a battery, really.
Yeah, sometimes it's called a crystal power cell.
Crystal power cell. And that sounds so much better. That's something you can have in a superhero.
Use gold to assist your experiments.
Gold.
Yeah, Nancy's been experimenting a lot with different elements. They experiment with silver, gold, all kinds.
Do you find one with platinum or something like that work?
So
that'd be
the
crazy.
way Nancy explains it is that. So right here's Walter Russell's periodic table, vortex-based periodic table, and that the elements exist in an octave manner. going throughout it, so that you want to essentially take an element off the left side as your anode, and then one off the right side as your cathode, and then you'll get the strongest differential between them.
There you go, burn some steampunk, man.
Good to know.
Solar steam turbine recycles the steam.
Things are really heating up.
How does that work? I climbed in bed. Oh.
Inside.
Post the link to the tape. Basically, just Google or look up Walter Russell periodic table, and you'll get
element 115.
That is the Bob Lazar element. The Bob Lazar. Shout out to element 115.
115. They'll materialize it sooner or later. Just hang on, folks.
The question is, so Charlie, what's unobtainium? Is that 115, or are those two different things?
I think, yeah, that's the official name of it. It was developed way after Bob Lazar coined his term, and when it was created in a lab, it just lasts a few microseconds and then it disappears.
But so they did create it afterwards, but he stated that is it correct that he stated it would be unstable before they created it, sort of thing, or was it like?
No, the opposite. He said it's stable at 115, so he was expecting that whenever it's be developed in a lab that it would be stable, but there's different
messes with the gravity.
Right. So he's saying that was a
gravity
fuel
of
for the
things.
UFO. Yeah.
Oh, there. Speaking of gravity interruption. Well.
Indeed.
All right. Sorry. We had a temporary stoner moment, so memory loss. We were talking about the periodic table and Walter Russell, and right here is another octave scale. The it's also called like the archway scale, referred, but it's octaves of the periodic table expressed in this manner, and how they.
And in when you see those doorways in cathedrals, they're called archivolts or archivolts, ARCHI vaults.
Right. So it's like, is it the archivolts, architecture of the universe, the structure of how it lines up? And there's some other modern versions of the periodic table where it actually includes this sort of structure of rotating around into it. It's quite fascinating, but it's more of the geometry of nature and of alchemy and the structure of electrochemistry and matter crystallization.
Crystals. Use your imagination.
Adam, you still there? Space Case?
I'm here.
Nice. You got anything to throw in today?
Well, I was thinking about the sensory deprivation thing, and I'm convinced that consciousness perceives reality directly, and that when you take away your senses, your consciousness is going to stretch out and go start perceiving things in other places. And I think that's why people start hearing and seeing things. It's one of those ways that people in ancient times would teach someone remote viewing.
Is comprehension of memory subconscious? Or is it the reaction to those comprehensions of memory?
I think it's just a reaction to when your physical senses aren't giving you anything. Then you're going to go
self-realization. Is that it? Self-realization would be considered consciousness, and not like using
trying to define
instinct.
Consciousness.
Wow.
Because that's, I think. Well, yeah, it's interesting that in itself as to what it actually is.
I think it's a separate manifestation of whatever our reality is made up of.
I mean, consciousness isn't. necessarily intelligence, is it?
Well, maybe self-realization in some sort of way.
Like a frog can be conscious, but it doesn't need to know it's a frog. But it's still conscious.
But it knows it lives.
It's a frog.
It just knows it lives, and it needs to do what it needs to do in order to survive.
Yeah. So is that consciousness?
Yeah. But that's instinct, right? That's instinct. But the consciousness, to have consciousness, is what humans have that has the advantage.
So, so intelligence and thinking. Yeah. Okay.
I guess it does lead to that. Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Sorry, just texting back and forth with Mike. He kept getting kicked out of the stream for some reason. Having internet issues yet again. Weird things. Hopefully, though, myself, I got a brand new laptop on the way that's upgrading my processing power to start doing the video editing, the better streams, and the new phone, the G20 with that 100x zoom on it, putting that through the telescope. And I got to build like a mount for my phone on the telescope, and that should be pretty freaking epic.
Jupiter has been very visible lately. Right by the moon, like you can't even believe it. You think it's a space station, or you think it's something like the Hubble.
It's so cool. Like through my telescope at the moon, like through like the lens magnifier on it, and then like you can literally count. I've got like up to like 15 of the moons that I can see around like Jupiter, or like 10 around Saturn or something like that. So it's pretty epic. I had some footage up on my Bernard Conkin channel that YouTube still has not given me back. Yeah.
Again. All right. Well, I'm not making much sense because it took me 40 hours to get home. I'll tell you that.
Really?
Fun. Yeah, man. That was great.
Isn't that a typical day?
Like 2 days
on Jupiter, I think.
Yeah, well, because I was supposed to be staying at a hotel, man, and I was supposed to have a late check-in, and of course I get there and there's no one there, and the bloody phone number's disconnected. So I'm standing in Brisbane going, what the hell? It's 10:30 at night. So I didn't know what to do. So I went to the airport looking for a hotel. Of course there was no hotel, so I spent the next 22 hours wandering around the airport drinking coffee and stuff. And then got on the bloody plane.
The hotel was closed at 10:30 at night and wouldn't let you get in.
They've got all these bloody hotels, and they're kind of like serviced apartments almost, but they don't have staff after like 6 p.m. They're kind of, and there's supposed to be a number to call, and it's all supposed to be sorted out, but none of it worked. It all just fell apart. So it was great.
Like,
and I couldn't even sleep on the plane, man. There's no leg room. I'm sitting there just dying. So
he scores. Yeah. KY Smooth gets another empty into the recycle bin. So KY is actually, he's got a lot of the memes, the different interfaces live on Twitch running quick stream. I also got live on my Twitch right now. Campbell, are you gonna start twitching anytime soon?
Twitching in a good way.
It's the birdie dance.
I haven't had the jab, people. It's okay. Oh my god, did you see that bloody, can I even say it, that, DIED very quickly movie that came out, of that documentary about people who, DIED suddenly. You seen that?
Oh yeah, my mom sent it to me. I have yet to watch it. I know what you are talking about.
Pretty weird, man. It's got these people and they point up in the sky and spin around in circles and then just drop dead. It's very strange. Yeah, man, it's weird. It's really weird.
That's freaky.
It is. But let's not talk about that, because we'll always have channels at once, and then we'll have to have we have no channels party, but we won't have a channel to have it on. It'll be very confusing. So there you go. But yes. I'm just about done because my arm is.
Yeah, we are reaching the 2-hour mark. So what we're gonna do is we will shut it down on the YouTube, but we're gonna keep it going on Twitch, and we're gonna be playing some music on Twitch and keep streaming on Twitch. Oh, Twitch and Twitter. It's the Twitch after party. So
can you? How long are the videos on Twitter now? Like you stream for proper long videos?
As far as I know, like Campbell, on my backup Twitter channel, I still have that 48-hour stream that I did like video up. Wow. It was pretty crazy. But yeah, apparently I heard something about them like downing it to like 2 hours or something about 2-hour videos, but I have no idea.
Well, I heard that in the wind that Elon, our great savior, oh hail Elon, was gonna try and compete with YouTube, turn Twitter into like a video format as well.
Right, so maybe it's something new. Oh, maybe you can now upload 2-hour
joking, by the way, if anyone hates me about like worshipping Elon, it's a joke. I like the one that doesn't have hair, and he died.
We love Elon. We love everybody.
Mate, if he didn't put red sports cars in space, how would I get a connection on my phone? Like, so come on. Credit where credit is due.
Right?
Yeah,
like Elon. At least he's I even love Alex and Yee, but not what Yee said. Have you seen the Kanye and Alex Jones interview?
Oh my gosh, Yay. But was it Yay or was it Yay's GIMP? We don't know.
The artist formerly known as Prince. People change their name.
Yeah, the artist formerly known as Kanye
now he's Yee. He's
West is now Yee.
Is it Yee? Am I right?
Yeah,
right.
Yee. And it was like,
what's going on ideology a little bit there.
Apparently he had a dinner with Trump, but his like buddy was like known as like I don't know. They labeled him as
boom, 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 wasn't it? Like he walked off like buddy, he did the Trump, and then he walked off Tim Paul, and everyone's like, oh, and then it was like everyone starts defending, and then it was just like boom.
He's like Babe Ruth. He gets like either like he gets like those grand slams, or he gets strikeouts.
I think it's great. I mean, it's probably going to cost him another $1 billion, but
have a record in both.
Got to do what you got to do.
Home runs.
Just like Bernie's got to do. He got like walk off in the middle of a live stream when we're talking about Kanye, who would not be impressed, Bernie. Come on.
I'm just grabbing our Polish friend named Cam.
Oh, he's here.
Ominous and my good friend Cam are just coming, but we'll be right back. I'll post the.
That'd be cool. If
Smooth,
they want to come on, only Cam.
My link in both of the lives.
I
will be right back, Campbell, and then we will shut it down on the YouTubes, and then keep the after party going on the Twitch and play some music and. Maybe Ominous, do you want to do a little intro here while I go
intro?
Yeah, I can do it for a couple minutes.
Outro.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, so let's leave the the Kanye thing alone. I mean, that's instant death talking about that. It's going to be interesting, though.
Hopefully, you put on a spot. I like to do it on.
Can you do it in the style of Kanye for us?
Ah, come on. Yo, what? Space. 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 Base. Base. Yeah. Where we're about to get back on with this conversation and science resonation sound. Ominous beatbox. Check it out. You saw it. Cam is here. He made it.
All right, there you go. Thank you, Ominous.
Oh, thanks. I hope you liked it.
And on that note, I am going to duck out. So have fun with your beatboxing on Twitch. Thanks everyone for being here, and I'm going to talk to you all in a few days, no doubt, with BurnEye on Tuesday.
Yeah, I guess we're going to be doing one with Paul Cook coming up right away. He got his new camera there, and he also got he's got coming to him one of these ancient, or not ancient, but like 100-year-old electrical healing devices.
Oh yeah,
so talk about that. We're gonna get that thing fired up, and yeah, it's pretty crazy. I took naturopathy.
Naturopathy.
All right, brother. We'll see you later.
All right, have a good one. See you guys.
Much love. And so yeah.
Goodbye. You were awesome, by the way.
Heal up, Campbell. Thank you for making it. Campbell has a recurring injury.
Yeah. Cheers, mate.
How do I get out of here? Goodbye.
Powered through.
Yeah. Perseverance.
All right. So I think I posted the Twitch links on YouTube on Andreas Certis, my Crypto Alchemist, BurnEye, and Autodidactic. I will now be stopping them.
Yep. Look at all